My name is Ruben Mark. I am 35 years old, and for 23 of those years, I lived as an outsider in my own family. I grew up in a small, beautiful town where everyone knew each other's business. The roads were narrow and uneven. During the season, fine dust settles over rooftops and window panels. During the rain, puddles swallow entire sidewalks and turn shortcuts into models' traps. I was 12 when my father died. He was a quiet school teacher who smelled faintly of chalk and old paper. One afternoon, he collapsed at work from a stroke. By evening, our house was filled with whispers, wails, and neighbors carrying plastic chairs into our living room. After the funeral, something shifted in our home. Before that day, I had been Daddy's boy. After it, I became the extra responsibility. My older sister Anna was 17, brilliant, graceful, admired. Teacher praised her. Neighbors predict her success. My mother spoke of her future like it was a guarantee. This girl would change our story, she often said. No one said that about me. Money grew tight, very tight. School fees was prioritized for Anna. Mine were paid when convenience. If funds run short, I stayed home for a term. That term sometimes stretched longer. I stopped asking for new shoes. I stopped complaining when my uniform sleeve became too short. I learned to endure hunger quietly. What hurt most was not poverty, it was invisibility. When I brought home good grades, my mother nodded distractedly. When Anna did the same, neighbors were informed and praises were sung loudly. At 12, I learned a painful truth. Survival sometimes requires silence, so I became silent. Anna left for university at 19. Relative contributed money. There was a prayer gathering. Tears of pride was shed as she boarded a bus towards her future. When I turned 19, I was working full-time in a small electronics shop. No gathering, no speeches, no promises. By then, I understood my place. Anna was the investment. I was a backup plan. After she graduated, she returned home glowing with confidence. She spoke of city life, opportunities, connection. Everyone listened carefully. I left shortly after with two shirts, one pair of trousers, and the address of a distant cousin. I moved to a large city and slept on the living room floor for 3 months. The city was unforgiving but fair. If you worked hard, you could eat. So I worked. Long hours, early mornings, late nights, I learned how to negotiate. I learned how to manage stock. I learned how to survive without asking anyone for anything. By 28, I had opened my own small electronics shop. By 32, I expanded into 2 locations. By 35, I owned a modest but thriving distribution business. And suddenly, my phone began ringing more often. The first call was about Anna's boutique business. Help her, my mother said. She is your only sister. I sent money. The boutique failed within a year. The Anna met Benson. Benson was charming, articulate, polished. He worked in banking. He spoke confidently about investment and financial growth. My family adored him instantly. Their wedding was grand, with decoration, music, photographers, guests dressed in elegance. I paid for a large portion of it. It was never demanded directly, but it was expected. You are the man of the house now, an uncle reminded me. I complied. Nobody publicly acknowledged my contribution. I had grown used to that. At 35, exhaustion finally caught up with me. For years, I had worked without rest. My life was business, meetings, warehouse inspection, invoices, repeats. So I planned something simple, a solo beach vacation. White sand, clear water, no obligation, no emergency call, no expectation. I booked 5 days away, flights paid, hotel reserved, itinerary planned. For once, I was choosing myself. Then my phone rang. Anna and Benson want to travel for their anniversary, my mother said excitedly. It will strengthen their marriage since you are already planning to travel. Why not sponsor them instead? You can go another time. I went silent. You are not married yet, she continued. They need it more. Within hours, Anna called. It's just those ones, she pleaded sweetly. Then Benson, family is everything, my brother. Family? The same word that justified neglect when I was 12. This time, something in me changed. I said, let me think about it. That night, I stared at my ceiling for hours. I thought about the boy who learned not to ask. Had I not earned rest? Why was my happiness always negotiable? By 2 a.m., I made a decision. I would still go, but I would not argue. I transferred a small amount to Anna, far less than required, and muted the family chat. 3 days later, I packed quietly and left for the airport without sunrise. I felt guilty, but I also felt free. At the airport, my phone erupted. Messages, voice notes, accusation. Selfish, ungrateful, prideful. My mother cried in one recording. Anna posted dramatic message in the family group. I listened to none of it. When boarding was announced, I stepped forward. That was the first truly selfish act of my life. And it felt terrifyingly powerful. The ocean was endless and calm. The air was warm. The sky stretched wide and blue. Evening melted into orange sunsets that painted the horizon on fire. For the first 2 days, guilt followed me like a shadow. But on the third day, something shifted. I realized love should not require constant self-erection. Family that benefit from your silence will resist your voice. But resistance does not mean you are wrong. It means the system is adjusting. When I returned home, tension waited for me. My mother avoided my calls. Anna sent a long message about betrayal. Benson unfollowed me. But nothing catastrophic happened. They survived without my sacrifice. Life continued. That realization changed everything. Months later, mother visited me. She looked older. You have done well, she said quietly. It was the first time she acknowledged my success without attaching a request. We talked. Why did you embarrass your sister? She said. I didn't, I replied calmly. I rested. I asked her questions about my childhood, about the times I dropped out of school, about the helps that never came. She listened. I was afraid, she admitted finally. If Anna failed, we would have nothing. So she invested in certainty and assumed I would survive on resilience. I was a child too, I said softly. She nodded. It was not a dramatic apology, but it was everything. Months later, Bessie lost his job. Anna called me late at night crying. This time, I did not send money blindly. I asked questions. I set conditions. I offer structured support, not endless sacrifice. I will help, I said, but it is temporal. They agreed. For the first time, there was respect in the conversation. A year later, I booked another vacation. This time, I announced it openly. I will be away next week. No apology. My mother simply said, travel safely. Anna responded kindly. Growth was quiet but visible. Today, I still support my family when necessary. But I no longer disappear to do it. I learned that boundaries feel like betrayal to people who benefited from your lack of them. I learned that healing sometimes looks like disobedience. Most importantly, I learned this. The most uncertain moment of my life walked towards that boarding gate while my phone exploded with anger was the moment I finally stopped being 12 years old. Sometimes the real escape plan is not about leaving people. It is about leaving the version of yourself that believed you had to earn love through exhaustion. I am 36 now, and for the first time in my life, I belong to myself. You would think that once I set boundaries, everything inside me would settle neatly into place. It didn't. Freedom is unfamiliar when you have spent most of your life negotiating your worth. After my second vacation, something strange happened. There was no dramatic confrontation, no explosive arguments, no emotional blackmail. Instead, there was space. And space can be uncomfortable when you are used to noise. For years, my identity has been tied to being dependable, the responsible one, the provider, the quiet fixer of problems no one else wanted to handle. Without constant crisis, I felt slightly unnecessary. I began noticing how often I checked my phone, almost expecting a request. When none came, I felt both relieved and oddly displaced. That was when I realized something deeper. I wasn't just breaking family pattern, I was breaking personal ones. A few months later, Anna visited me alone. No person, no dramatic introduction, no pride. She looked different. Not physically. She was still graceful, still composed, but there was less shine in her confidence. Light had sanded down the polish. She sat in my living room, afternoon sunlight spilling across the rug. I have been thinking, she began carefully, about what you said. I waited. I never saw it from your side. That sentence hit harder than any apology could, because she was right. Golden children rarely see the shadow they stand in. I didn't ask for favoritism, she continued quietly, but I benefited from it. There it was. Honestly, not defensive, not dismissive, honest. For the first time in our adult lives, we talk like equals. Not like the roles in the family hierarchy. She told me something I had never known. When dad died, mom cried every night in my room. She kept saying I had to succeed because of you were too quiet. She thought you wouldn't fight for yourself. That stung. Because she wasn't entirely wrong. I had learned early that fighting was useless. I thought you didn't need help, Anna said softly. You never asked. I stopped asking when it didn't matter, I replied. Silence filled the room, but it wasn't heavy this time. It was healing. At 36, I began examining parts of myself I had ignored for years. Why did I struggle to delegate at work? Why did I assume people would disappoint me? Why did that generosity come easy, but receiving felt uncomfortable? I realized something uncertainly. Independence has become armor, strong, polished, protective, but heavy. When Deborah, yes, the woman I mentioned before, pointed this out during one of our long evening conversations, I resisted at first. I survived because I didn't depend on anyone, I said. She nodded. Survival isn't the same as living. That statement lingered for days. Survival isn't living. I have survived childhood, survived neglect, survived emotional invisibility, but I had truly lived. There was still one person I had not fully confronted, my uncle. The same uncle who used to say, "You are the man of the house now," whenever money was needed. He visited one afternoon, sitting stiffly on my sofa, adjusting his glasses as though preparing for a formal meeting. "I hear you have changed," he said bluntly. "I have grown," I corrected. He leaned forward. "Family must come first." "For years, family came first," I replied calmly. "Now, balance comes first." He didn't like that. "You are becoming too Western-minded," he noted. I smiled faintly. When people cannot control you, they criticize your evolution. "I am still generous," I said. "I am just no longer available for exploitation." The word landed sharply. He left shortly after, dissatisfied. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty. Bessie surprised me one evening. He visited me for coffee. No pride, no smooth superiority. Just a man who had been humbled by unemployment and uncertainty. "I judged you," he admitted. "I know. I thought providing financially was easy for you, that it cost you nothing." I looked at him carefully. "It cost me childhood," I said quietly. That wasn't dramatic. It was factual. He nodded slowly. "I want to build something without depending on you," he said. "Not because I appreciated your help, but because I understand it now." That was growth, not perfection. Growth. People often think that my escape plan was that beach trip. It wasn't. The real escape was internal. It was the moment I stopped equating love with sacrifice. The moment I stopped fearing disapproval. The moment I allowed myself rest without justification. I still help my family, but now it is voluntary, not automatic. I still answer calls, but I no longer panic when my phone rings. I still love my sister, but no longer compete with her shadow. Last winter, something unexpected happened. I needed help. A shipment delay caused a serious financial strain in my business. Not catastrophic, but significant. Old Ruben would have handled it silently. New Ruben did something radical. I called Anna. "I need advice," I said. She was quiet for a second, probably shocked. Then she responded thoughtfully. We talked for an hour, not about money, about strategy, about perspective, about resilience. When I hung up, I realized something profound. For the first time in our lives, support flowed both ways. That was the balance I have been seeking. Sometimes I think about the 12 years old version of me. The boy standing quietly in the corner after his father's funeral. The boy who learned not to ask. The boy who mistook silence for strength. If I could speak to him now, I would tell him this. You were never too much. You were never invisible. You were never deserving. You just grew up in a system that misunderstood you. And that one day you will walk through an airport gate with your phone ringing in protest and you will choose yourself. And that choice will not destroy you. It will build you. What family means now? Family is not obligation without limits. It is not emotional debt inherited at 12. It is not sacrifice that erases identity. Family is support that respects boundaries, love that allows individuality, correction that does not require self-abandonment. I am 36 now. My business is stable, my relationship is growing, and my family is perfect but evolving. The airport memory still lives in me, not as guilt, proof that the most unsettling decisions are sometimes the most necessary. And if my phone ever vibrates like that again, I will still choose wisely. But this time, I will not tremble because I know who I am. And I know that belonging to myself does not mean losing my family. It means finally meeting them as an equal. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe and turn on the notification button for more interesting stories. Bye bye.